Struggles, episode 3, part 2. My name is Nelsie. I'd like to welcome all my guests, starting with the host, Colton. How you doing?
Not too bad, thank you. Yourself?
Good. Next, Natural Love Song.
Hey, everybody.
Next, Shayla.
Hey.
You good?
I'm suffering, but it's okay. My nose is itching. I'm trying. I'm okay, I'll live.
Just don't scratch it. Last but not least, the one and only, Lily.
Lily, hey.
How's your week's been, everybody?
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Good.
Cool. So, I'm going to start off from episode part 1, a slight recap where we ended it with a question directed at Shayla and Lily, as they both said that, I can see her smiling already, they both said that everybody deserves a second chance. So, yeah, so the last question posed to Lily was, would you be happy if you lived next door to a murderer?
No, I wouldn't be happy with that.
Wait, I thought you said everyone deserves a second chance, so why would you be happy?
Well, I wouldn't. You asked me the question, would I be happy? No, I wouldn't be happy, but I would be, let's say,
You would give them a second chance?
apprehensive because, say, I'm leaving, say if I had children and they were 15, I'll be, and then 15-year-olds can stay in the house by themselves or whatever, and but I'll be kind of oh, I don't really want them to stay at home. I wouldn't really feel safe in my own house. Just if there was a killer down the street, I would still not be safe with the killer, knowing that the killer or kidnapper is down the street. Even in the area, I wouldn't feel safe. But the fact that it's so close to home, no.
How would you then give him a second chance then? Because he's done his time and he wants to, live in peace and harmony, love and all that.
Yeah, so when I said second chance, so when I said second chance, I meant second chance, I mean, God will give you, I believe God will give you a second chance, right?
But not me.
Society, if someone doesn't know you that well, they wouldn't really give that person a second chance in their presence or trust them with anything to do with them. They'll give them a second chance from arm's length. Oh yeah, you used to be a killer. Okay, I'm scared to death inside, but okay, go and used to do whatever you used to do over there. Okay, second chance over there, not over here, not next door. So it's different. I will forgive that person for whatever they did to that other person, but in my presence, no. It's just I can't.
Okay. So same question posed to Shayla. So would you be happy if a murderer was living next door to you?
No, I wouldn't. That's why they don't disclose that the people have done these things, because they know no one would be happy with such a thing.
Yeah.
Unless you're morbid.
So,
no one is.
Yeah, but then how would you give them a second chance then? I don't understand.
I didn't say I would give them a second chance. I said that they should be given a second chance.
Let me just for you. 1 second. No, I'm joking.
No, but I did say that. I said that I wouldn't give them a second chance. But everyone else, if they want to give them a second chance, they should. But I feel like they should be given a second chance, but just not by me, because it's not for me to be giving you a second chance.
That was what confused Forbes and I, that she said that. She did say that. Which is a weird position to hold, but she did say that, to be fair.
Fair enough.
People that are involved in the situation have the right to say if they give them a second chance. But I think those that have been affected should be the ones to give them a second chance, or not me living next door to you and you've murdered someone's pitney and I think I'm gonna sit there and be like, yeah, come sit next to me, I'll take the parcels in. No.
No.
So if
And
you
that's
two
not taking your
said people
parcels.
deserve a second chance, ain't willing to give that person a second chance,
Because
when
they
do
didn't
they
do
really
it
get a
directly
second
to
chance?
me. They do by the
Yeah.
person that they committed the problem with. Like they have to ask for forgiveness and second chances from that person, not
Is
from me.
that not us passing like the buck? Someone
Yeah.
else is going to give them a second chance, not us. And then the next person's like, yeah, someone else is going to give them a second chance.
Exactly.
Not us.
But I mean, yeah, but think about it. If someone actually directly harmed you, yeah, is it for the other people around them to be giving them a second chance, or is it for you to give them a second chance?
So
I think
what-
we
Let's go a bit deeper. Like, you know those kids that killed a little boy, the two of
Jamie
them.
Bolger.
Yeah, those people. So they were kids when they did that, right?
Yeah.
But then now they're older, and I don't know if they told their wives or whatever, maybe they got kids, whatever, about their past life. But imagine like they didn't say anything, like, and then they just ended up saying it like 20 years later down in the marriage. Like they've gotten to see that person for who they are, how they become as an adult, and they know that person wouldn't even hurt a fly. It's just because that incident. No, but I'm saying like now, do you get what I mean? That was when they were kids, because there's the things that people have done when they were younger, they've stolen, and now they're maybe in corporate world, like you don't know, and or maybe
that's what I'm saying. It's for the person to give them a second chance, not for the because the thing is the person that they're married to, they weren't none the wiser. But they don't need to give them a second chance. It's the person that they committed the crime to. That's who they need to get forgiveness from.
The Jamie Bolger
If I
one's quite
find my husband did that,
because they went to town on that kid. Like,
if I was married to that guy, I'm not giving him a second. If he told me
and
the
one
truth,
of them keeps doing things to kids. Like one of them vanished, and the other one keeps going back to prison because he has indecent images of kids on his PC. One of them disappeared. But I know what you mean, Lily. Like, yeah, that one that's disappeared, he may be living the most perfect life.
Yeah.
And being the most perfect. Do you know what that reminds me of? Do you remember we read the story in English called The Vulture? I don't know if you remember this. And it was about this Nazi soldier who was gassing Jewish people, yeah, by the thousands every day. And it painted this bleak picture of him. Then he went home and he had a wife and kid, and he was the most loving and affectionate husband. And you've got this polarizing image of this man who was gassing Jews by day, coming home and being the most affectionate husband.
Yeah.
And few people had a different opinion of him. Like,
exactly. But this is what I'm saying. You could say the same thing about racist people. Like they're out there, you know, maybe hurting other races, and then they go back home and they're like so lovely to, and maybe everyone's all the same from the same nation, but maybe one's darker than the other. They still treat that person fine, but it's just because they're
we're talking about second chance.
No, what I'm saying is that someone in your own household, might be racist, and then the other person's not, and they're like, why do you keep being racist towards these people? You come home and you're such a nice person to me and our kids, but then you go out and you're like, oh, you this, that, and the N word and whatever, and then they have to think to themselves, why am I actually doing that? So I think, like, for some people, if you want to go a little bit deeper, like in terms of these killers or molesters, whatever, I don't know, some people are like, wow, why did I do that, or why am I doing that? And then they have a change of heart, and then they go out to society. Yeah, if you tell society that you've done X, Y, and Z, society is not going to forgive you, but God knows man's heart, and God will. So that's why you know that I want to go a bit spiritually in the kingdom, is that there's going to be people that have been clapping hands going to church for many years, and then there's going to be molesters and all of this stuff that will go into, you know, have eternal life, and then you wonder why. Like, I feel like
do you know who it is to forgive them?
I feel like a lot of people like to point the finger, and I'm not God or anything, but I'm saying I'm looking at it from a perspective where we don't know what people do behind closed doors. And you know what I mean? The person that looks less holy right in front of your face could be the most holiest person at home. They're just battling with things on the outward, just for whatever they've been going through in life, and that's, people know their story as that. But when they get home and they close the doors, they're in the corner crying to God every single night. But you, what are you doing? And you've been
Oh,
going to
devil.
church for how long? You don't even know
Wait.
Genesis 1 right here.
Did you say
Can I
you're the
ask the
devil?
question?
Liz had a question. Sorry,
What's the
Liz
answer,
did have a
Sheila?
question.
Oh boy, oh God, where do I begin now? Okay, so I said last week that no, I don't believe everyone deserves a second chance. Let me qualify my thoughts.
Okay.
So there's varying degrees of harm. Yeah. So there's the harm where someone stole because they're hungry. They literally don't have a way to sustain themselves. They stole some food. We know why they did it. If you give them a job and they can earn an honest living, will they continue to steal? Maybe they're a kleptomaniac. I don't know. Then you have people that are enacting harm on other people. And it's a recurring thing. Like Links was mentioning about one of James Baldwin's killers is keeps on like, come on. And everyone is going to say, if everyone is given that opportunity to say, should we forgive people? They're going to think, oh, maybe, you could have gone through things and give them a second chance. But everybody's going to say, give them a second chance over there.
Yeah.
So we have an island for the murderers. We need to have an island for the child molesters. We need to have an island.
Australia. Yeah, Australia.
And at the end of the day, then it's very difficult. But if you're a person that believes in like the exchange of ideas and that people can grow, and you can't be a closed-minded, for example, feminist or person that's trying to educate someone about racism, etc. If you don't believe that people can change, because otherwise there would be no point explaining to them or trying to get them to understand your humanity. But at the end of the day, if you've done those mad degrees of harm, I'm not giving you the second chance. Like Shayla said, go ask Jesus, because I'm not going to do it.
I'm going to go back to Lily's point because I noticed she went down the spiritual route. Yes?
Wait, can I just say something before you say
Yes.
that?
Go on, Shayla.
I just wanted to say to Lee, okay, one, you didn't answer the question because technically you left it to Jesus. Two, again,
I didn't answer the question.
you didn't. You left it to Jesus. You said that Jesus will give them basically a second chance. God.
Yeah, and I did say that I'll give.
Are you giving them a second chance or not?
No, I did say I'll give them a second chance, but I said like obviously over there.
Yeah, she did. She said she'd be apprehensive.
Yeah, I'll be apprehensive.
Yeah.
Okay.
But obviously, I'm not going
clarify.
to not trust someone. Yeah, is it a sin for me to not feel comfortable and to not trust that person because of what they've done, and I can physically see it? Like, no,
I get you.
I'm sorry that you feel like you feel remorseful now, but what you did at the time, it's put a imprint on your name, on your character, on your being as a person. So if you were living next door to me, yes, I'll be apprehensive. Yes, I understand that you were at a different time then, but it's not over here.
Okay. Same question to Paulson. Would you be happy with a murderer living next door to you?
No, but I just like, bro. Oh, do you know what? As you said that, my brain started working. The simple answer is no. However, it depends on which the murder was committed. Like, was they defending their family?
Oh, okay.
I read a story today of a guy who got into an argument with his brother. He's an ex-boxer, and he punched his brother and killed him. He clearly didn't mean to punch his brother. They're both in their 20s, and he's doing 5 years now, innit? And he's heartbroken. So if he moved next to me...
Is that all?
Yeah, I know. But he didn't mean to do it. They got into an argument. So if he moved next to me, I would have no problems with him moving next to me, because whatever you're feeling for killing your own brother, like, nothing I can say is going to make you feel any better or any worse, innit? That's your thing to battle, innit? He moves next to me, no problems, innit? Like,
What if he says to you, why is your car parked in my driveway? You're like, I'm only doing it for 2 minutes. No, move it now.
That's when I'll start throwing shade. I'll say, bro, you ain't gonna punch me like you did your brother, That's when I start, I start throwing up shade. I'm getting it tough. Yeah, I'll give him the look. Hey, bro, do I look like your brother to you? I beg you, try it, innit? Exactly. That's when I start bringing up dirt. I'm just bringing it and just Do I look like your brother to you, bro?
Bro, Eddie's gonna-
I beg you, try innit? I wish you would. I wish you would. Yeah, no. But if he got in my face, then he hasn't learned anything, innit? Like, he hasn't learned anything. But
Oh.
if it was a person, the Jamie Bolger person, yeah.
Mm.
The first one who keeps going back, I'm going to have a big problem with that. Like,
Yeah.
so it depends on what happened. I would have to take it on a pros. Like, do you know what? I'm going to say something quite controversial here, yeah?
Mm.
And me and my girlfriend have constant, like, heated debates about this, yeah? I probably wouldn't mind if a paedophile moved in. Like, yeah, look at your face. Like, because, right? Hear my thinking, yeah, Nosy. Look at your face. There's something wrong with these people, innit? Like, and then look at this.
Pardon?
There's something wrong with these people. Like, and I don't believe they can help it. Like, do you remember when we were growing up, Nosy? And we're like, yeah, older women. Do you remember? Older women, older women, older women. For you to look at a young kid and be like, ooh, younger kid, I will never understand that. To me, you're like one of those people who like licking toes. And if you like licking toes, good for you. I'm sorry if I've offended you. Like, you're in that weird group of people that I will never understand, but I don't think you can help it. That's just what you're
But you
sexually
can't
attracted
relate
to.
that. You can't relate that to kiddie figures.
No, I'm not. I'm putting it like, I'm putting it there like it's something I personally won't understand, but that's your
So you
sexual
won't
attraction.
mind. You
What?
won't mind them moving next door to you.
Yeah,
But you would mind a murderer moving next door to you if he killed
Depending
them
on what the murderer
intentionally. Unless if he killed them intentionally, you wouldn't mind them moving next door to you. But you wouldn't mind a kiddie fiddler moving next door to you.
Okay, what?
Nah.
They've got
Wow.
different images of children on their phone, on their device, versus they actually kidnapped a child and did the things to them. What are you saying to me, Links? Talk to me.
So what, they've got decent images on their phone of
On
kids.
their device, whatever device, and they actually
what?
kidnapped
I'm
the child
gonna-
and done the things to the
It's funny
child.
you mention this because
No
back
way.
in 2000s, so I forget when it was. I think it was around 2000, between 2002 and 2006. There was a big court case where there was a group of people who had indecent images on their phone, right? It was a global thing. And it turns out I knew one of the people who were arrested. Yeah. I didn't know this, obviously, at the time. Because I was just like, oh, where's so-and-so gone? And then my people were like, oh, do you know that court case where they got a worldwide ring of people who had so-and-so was one of the people? And I'm like, whoa, nicest person ever, right? But they're a bit simple. Like, there's something mentally wrong with them. There's a learning difficulty thing there. And I don't believe it was a sexual thing. I think, from what I understand, was they were sent something, they opened it and left it, and it stayed there. And because they've got it on their phone now, like, but I'm just like, I've never seen this person since, by the way. Their family's just shipped them off. So if that person moves back next to me, I would like to ask them questions.
Wait. So, Paulson, if your niece was
Yeah.
coming to see you every weekend,
Yeah.
yeah,
They're not going nowhere near the neighbour, bro.
Pardon?
They're not going nowhere near the neighbour. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying.
In that scenario, that
Yeah.
you know that your niece comes over every weekend, and
Yeah.
she likes to go out and play in the back garden. Yes.
Yeah.
And you know that a neighbor goes out there, also every weekend.
Yeah.
Would your view change in regards to being happy for a pedo to live next door to you?
No,
Okay.
because she's not interacting with that individual. Do you get me? Like,
The
It's
fact
so-
that they're watching is enough for me.
yeah, like, do you know what it's like? Nosy is like when we used to go out down West End with the girls we were seeing, and we could see other men watching and perving, the Middle Eastern European men who got very touchy with the girls we were seeing at the time, like, and got within their boundaries. To me, it's just like, there's a line, don't cross it. Like, if he tries to talk to my niece or tries to find some way of getting my niece to come over, then there's going to be major problems, isn't it? But if you try to take pictures of my niece, there's going to be major problems. But I can't do anything for what's going on in your head. Like, if she's in the garden, you're playing, you're watching, I'll say, bro, I would have words with you, innit? But yeah, go on, sorry, Laylee.
Lily, go on.
You know what I'm thinking about, yeah. Sorry again, like I have to take it back. Like, you know, like Bible times, I'm just thinking like, because there must have been like kids like 10, 12 that will get with men like, you know,
They were.
like 25 and
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
upwards. So
Yeah.
I get it that the times change to like how society operates now, and so maybe I don't know. Yeah, must have worked for them, but I feel like there must have still been some girls or boys that would be like, I'm too young for this. Like I don't understand this, because even though like in some you know other countries, right, not Western countries, they still kind of practice that. And so for them who haven't been opened up to, you know, like the Western world, it's kind of like their mindset may be a bit like backwards as well, because they've never been you know, in our society where it's not normal to have a wife or husband that is under the age of, what is it, 16 or 18 or whatever. So for them it's like, oh, you know, even though I don't want to do this, I have to do it because it's a new life for me. Or do you know what I mean? So they have to kind
It
of
only recently changed, you know. Nelsie, you might want to look up, but the UK, the consensual age for a man to marry a woman was very young, not that long ago. I can't remember the exact date.
Yeah.
But I think she could be like 13, 14. Like,
No,
and
yeah, but
it wasn't that long ago it changed.
I think that we are slightly heading in the wrong direction, in the sense of that we are comparing a person who is marrying someone of a young age compared to someone who is sexualizing little girls or young children. I think there's a big difference.
Yeah.
Well, that could be
And
classed as that.
What's to say, Lily? What's it to
No.
say? There is one thing to have a culture of, I want to go and marry this person. For me to marry this person, I have to pay X amount of money, and then obviously they will hand them over. Compared to me, either downloading indecent pictures of little babies or young children, or hanging on some corner trying to snatch a young child. I think they're two completely different scenarios.
So in your scenario, if a paedophile goes to one of the countries Lily mentioned and just pays someone to marry their underage daughter, it's blessed.
No. I'm not saying it's not the best either, because the person who's done that, they know that basically what they're doing is they are circumventing the law by going to a country which it's legal for them to practice their disgusting ways, basically.
You're
Can I say something?
letting your feelings go.
Gary Glitter, for example, he knew what he was doing was wrong, so he left the UK, and then he went to countries, like you said, that...
Did you say?
Gary Glitter.
Yeah, but Gary Glitter's an idiot because he went to Vietnam where they kill you for doing that. So when they found out he was doing that, and they're like, you're getting a death penalty, he's like, oh snap, I need to go back to the UK. So I get what you mean. I just don't think he did his research. I think he tried to do that and went to the wrong country where they're like, we kill men who do that to kids.
Yeah, but it wasn't just Vietnam he went to. My point is, you could tell that his purpose was to children. That's why he left the country that he knew like it was illegal to have relations with children, and went to a country where, in his point of view, it was deemed consensual. So I'm saying to you, that is a completely different scenario compared to me going to marry a young child, in my eyes, who I class as a young child, to have as my wife and to have my children. You see?
I think I think that, like you said, it's culturally acceptable for them to do that, so they do it. But I think that, how do I say this? Even though it's culturally acceptable, I feel like there are some that realize that it doesn't feel right. It's not right, even though they know that's for their culture. They're doing it because it's their culture. But some of them know it's not. It doesn't, because I personally just don't believe that it's right for a young woman to marry an older man. In general, it's a child.
I agree.
But I feel
I
like
agree.
in the culture they know this, but they do it because it's the culture and that's what they have to do, or not have to do, but just to please the family members. This is what they've been doing. This is what they continue to do. And then you have the paedophiles that intentionally go in there because my thing is, if you're gonna marry a 12-year-old or 11-year-old, 10 or whatever, you're gonna, even though you might not be going on the internet and typing in pornography or all these things, or things that they might want to download for their laptop, you marrying that child, you're I feel like you're kind of doing the same thing, whether you like it or not, because you're
I
going to
agree.
be engaging in the act at that point.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I mean? It's
What
just a
intellectual
cultural
conversation
thing
are
to
you having
cover
with
it
a
up.
10, 11, 12-year-old? Like,
Exactly. It's a cultural thing to cover it up, really. But reality is you're engaging, you're not taking part in that situation. Like, no.
Natural Lawson, do you agree with Shayla's point?
I'm sitting here quietly thinking about various things. I'm thinking about the roadmen who used to call after bare of us when we're in our school uniform blatantly.
But they're perverts. They're perverts.
That, you know,
They're grooming.
my school uniform, you could see I'm a kid, like, but then someone else would say puberty, you know, she look ripe, you know, she look ready for something.
It's like the old men dating young girls.
I've been traumatized by, it's traumatizing. That's what I can say. But there's obviously cultures that is more normalized in their culture because of the kind of the way they work, the way people work, the freedoms and education systems that are in place, especially for women. If that's what the girl children are raised up to do, be married off, and they have no other options, to them it's still coercive. Like, because if you have no other choice, then you're gonna do it, innit? Because how are you gonna survive?
But what I will say to Shayla's point is, though I do understand what she's saying, but I think that when it comes to something that is cultural, because you're looking at it from a lens from your own culture, in your eyes, you see that as being wrong. But in their eyes, because that's all they know, to them, it's normal. You see?
I think it's normal to the older generation, because I'm sorry, you can't be that ignorant or naive to not think that is on the same level as personally. So I just think the older generation will be like, it's normal. But when you have education and you actually understand, because remember, they might be coming from an innocent mind point, you know, that this is a normal cultural thing. But when you get educated and you're able to see things on TV, watch things and understand different people's point of views, I'm sorry, you marrying a 12-year-old in 2021 is on the same level to me as a paedophile, because you are now engaging in that act, but just not being filmed. Simple as that. Like,
those people, what about those people who don't know anything? They don't know what the day is. They don't know what the time is.
Different, because you don't have. That's different. They don't have the education to educate themselves on those things, because they're not able to be educated on what is that's correct thing to do. It's like, come on, there's, like you said, when you were younger, the guys would holler at you in your school uniform. But they're educated to know that that's not correct, but you're doing it because, oh, you think you see a nice girl in their school uniform. It's wrong. Like, regardless of anything, it's wrong. Like, you don't. I feel like, and the thing is as well, when you're older, I said age older than a minor, you know what you're doing is basically grooming. You're basically going to manipulate that child. You're going. It's not right. And I feel like for a man or a woman to do that to someone, like even teachers that have authority and they're messing with their students, it's all on the same level. You don't, like, it's just, you're using your authority to abuse. You're abusing your authority. It's not okay.
So what if you had a grown adult who's a female who is having sexual relations with a 15-year-old boy? Would you say that is still wrong?
I've heard that.
100%. Again, you're abusing your authority. One, you're at the age where you understand that is wrong anyway. It's a child going through puberty, doesn't really understand, you know, about life. You're basically going in there, manipulating them, making them get emotionally connected to you, knowing that they are respecting you as that authority and believing in the things that you're saying. You're now going to a minor and you're making them feel like these things are okay. It's not like, people should just leave kids out of the situation. Like, you don't.
I agree.
That their brains haven't even finished forming properly yet for them to have that, you know, capacity. But I was gonna say that there is a little bit of a grey area, because like what I was saying about the roadmen calling after schoolgirls in the uniform, they weren't really doing it to the year 7, you know. They were doing it when the young ladies were now coming into their adolescence and things. But there will be some among them that could be under the cover really you know, wanting more, even younger than that. But I feel like there is a little bit of a grey area.
Can I highlight that as
What are
well?
those things?
Girls that
What's this,
literally
lady?
go out and not and you know, lie about their age and all this stuff, because they desire also the older guy, and it can get very messy. But blatantly, obviously, little come on.
What about those
You know what I'm
stories that you
trying to
hear
go on?
about? What about those stories that you hear about? I heard one story how this young kid, this boy, like raped one of his classmates. Like,
Yeah. That's a common problem now.
yeah,
I
and
haven't heard about
I
that.
think they were in primary school.
What in
So
the
the issue
world?
is, apparently, in a lot of schools, there's been a high amount of sexual assault that is taking place, and obviously because
No, I'm
obviously
getting
these
boxed.
young boys are very young, it's not being reported, and some of them are just being told off, and that's it. But a lot of young people are actually coming forward saying that these things actually happen to them in school, so it's a very serious issue. But to revert back to the original question, this is the natural song. Now, if there was a paedophile, yes, which has now, in what you guys will be classed as, he's now turned his life around and he's now committed his life to God, yes, and he's in your church, yes. Now, bear in mind what Lily said about forgiveness, because you know she went down the spiritual avenue, yes. How do you feel about your daughter being in the church?
Just stop right there. Just stop. Move it along.
Exactly.
Wait.
Jesus is your savior, not me.
Okay, question to Lily. If you had a paedophile in your church, now you just said, you know, Jesus he also forgives, yes, and you know, so and
Everybody
you're
but
also
you.
one of Jesus' pupils. So do you forgive and you know allow your child to roam freely in the church?
I just want to know where the pastor is placing him when he's preaching.
Lead him
In
into
church.
temptation.
Like,
So-
what's happening? I don't get it. Like, what are you going to tell the congregation? Are you going to tell the congregation that there is an ex-felon sitting in the corner or wherever at the front? Where are you going to place him? At the front, at the back, in the middle? Like, everyone should just feel comfortable. Like, you know, it's all easy not knowing everybody's sins when you're sitting in church, but then to know someone's sin in church, especially the degree of the sin in church, it's a bit hard. Do you know what I mean?
But surely the church is the place to have the biggest sin, because that's where forgiveness is, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
And
like
so
for a reason.
what was the question? What was the question again?
There's a sex offender list for a reason, and there should be one in church too, so everybody can know who he is to keep your kids away. It's like putting a paedophile in a playground. It's like putting a paedophile in a playground. You cannot put him in a place where there are kids roaming. He's sweating. Nah, stay as a
You can't, because even though, yeah, because I was gonna say, right, because the industry that I work in at the moment, right, it's care, and so you can't have someone who used to maybe, I don't know, bully elderly people around, or like, you know, pushing them, or I don't know, anything, just the vulnerable people, doing anything to them. If you have that on your DBS, I mean, they're not really going to employ you, are they? Do you really think, right? I get it, in the church it's different, but do you really think, right, that okay, an ex-felon, right, who has was a paedophile, right, and now he's given his life to Christ, and he now says, Lord, I really want to break it into the the teaching industry so I can teach young kids. Like,
Hey,
I mean, do you really, I don't know, but do you really feel like God's gonna be like, yeah, that is the right place for you, Simon. I'm gonna just you know, get into these teachers' minds, and then as soon as you walk through the door and they check your DBS, they're gonna say, "Yeah, we got him for the job." Like, do you really think that is the way for him? And I'm sure he's not even gonna be accepted there. Like, church
What did say?
is a bit different. Like, they're not. He's not gonna be teaching the children on the Sunday or Saturday
Yes
school.
or no?
But
Like,
say, lady,
If nobody knows, sure, we're looking for volunteers for Sunday school. Come on.
Yeah. But as soon as someone knows, even the kids will start running.
no,
Even the
but,
kids
but,
will
but
start
Lily,
running.
you diverted from answering the question because you first started off about God and forgiveness, and as soon as I put it to you in regards to a pedo in the church,
Yeah.
you now diverted and gone somewhere else.
No,
So-
okay, the paedophile in the church. So what's the question?
This is all about second chances. If a pedo can't even get a second chance from the church, what hope does he have?
No, what was
Yeah,
the question to me?
yeah, for
What
us
was the
to forgive
question to
him.
me?
Well, the question to you is, so from a second chance point of view, yes, so he's committed that crime, yes, now he's turned his life around, yes, and now he goes to church. Oh, from a second chance's point of view, which you stated in the beginning that all people deserve a second chance. Now, bear in mind, you know, you're in the church, shouldn't he also get a second chance?
Yeah, he can get a second chance.
Okay, so that means then, would you be happy to have your children around him?
But why would my children be around him? Yes, my
He's in
children.
the church.
Yeah, I get that. But if my children are anything like me, they'll know that they'll just be sticking with their mum or their dad or their family. They're not gonna be like, hey, like to a random person.
Okay. So would you tell your child not to play with that person?
I wouldn't be going there.
No, like,
100%.
well,
I'm not attending.
like,
100%.
Would you tell?
Not
So
with the
okay. So
person.
this question is yes or no. Would
Well,
you tell your child not to play with that person?
100%.
I'm
listen,
not attending the church.
I feel like
I'm not attending.
God teaches
Yeah.
everybody to be wise, yeah. And I would tell my child, no, like, you know, just don't play with that person. I don't even think the person wants even to feel like a target. I don't even feel like that person would be like, oh yeah, I want all the kids to come play with me. Like, I feel like the most thing that they want is just leave the kids away, because they don't want anybody looking at them or accusing them of a second thing again. And so I feel like they'll just come to church, do the church thing, and then leave straight away. If they really change, I don't feel like they want all of that attention.
So, Olsen, do you agree?
But I don't feel like anyone should.
Who knows, innit? Lily might be right. You might get the individual who just wants to move on with their life, doesn't want to any chance of them being accused again in future. So just don't put me in that situation. But then you get the individuals who are like, I've done my time or whatever.
Yes.
I want to show and prove that I've reformed, and I want to be around your kids and show that I will not touch them or do anything indecent. So yeah, let me look after your kids. The problem is, yeah, with this paedophilia thing, right? It's a mindset, isn't it? Like, it's not like you did a crime. You've got a sexual desire for that thing. Like, so if I've got a sexual desire for that thing, you can throw me in prison 101 times, and 101 times I'm gonna come out and still have a sexual desire for that thing. There's nothing that's gonna change that. Like, yeah. So with the paedophilia thing, it's a little hard because they might not even want to be this way, innit? But you put kids around them, their libido or whatever it is starts going, and they're like, oh, that kid's attractive. There's a problem. Like, I would probably take the approach of, if I had kids, this is what this man did once. If he does something, looks at you a certain way, like, yeah, I'll just have to lay it out to they try to talk to you, pull you aside, get you to go with them anywhere. You need to tell me, innit? You do not go anywhere with anyone, like we were all raised, innit? But particularly that person, innit? If they say anything to you that you think isn't right, you tell me immediately. Like, that's how I would approach that. Like,
okay, Shayla?
No, I was just going to say, just to end my piece, you know, Matthew 6, verse 13. And lead us not into temptation, okay? And protect us from the evil one. That's what they should be carrying. They should not be there tempting themselves. They are the evil one. They should leave.
Evil
I
one?
will
Oh, wait, hold on, stop.
No,
How can they be the evil one if they have repented? I said,
it's
so what?
of the mind.
Let me
How
stop
would
this.
they stay for? So what if a child's reading the Bible in the front of the church and he's there like, it's the mind. I'm gonna offend a lot of pedophiles in church.
I'm gonna change the subject slightly because I don't necessarily agree with some of your points, but
Did you
so
just say your-
I want to hear.
So-
I want to hear your
so
point though. I want to
that-
hear your point because
so
you're asking the questions and you're not
I will-
pointing it. You know,
I'll come back to it.
I need to
So-
hear. It.
Natural love song. Do you think that by me breaking the law and going to prison, I'm not saying for paedophilia, just the fact that I've broken the law and now I'm in prison, do you think that that should affect my job opportunities?
This is another one of those nuanced ones. It all depends. It all depends on what the job requirements are. Like, do you need to be a trustworthy person? Is it, are you
A
around
trustworthy person. Have you seen our MPs?
That's why I wouldn't touch them with a barge. Yeah, I wouldn't touch them with a barge pole. Yeah, and why are we trusting them and why are they in charge? I totally agree with you. Yeah, pass. I pass the buck to Links.
Okay, same question to you. So I think because one person has got a criminal record, that should affect their job prospects.
Ultimately, I think my mind tells me no, it shouldn't. But again, it depends on what you did. But then if you've been rehabilitated and you want to better yourself, you got to say, yeah, you can do those things. But again, it depends on what you did. Totally depends on what you did. There's some jobs you can't even get if your parents did illegal things, which I think is totally wrong. Or if your credit score's not 100%, again, I think that's totally wrong. But it depends on what you did, because if you tell if the person has got through to the interview stage, right? So they've bettered their life to a point where you're even considering that applicant, and then you go down and you're like, oh, you went to prison for XYZ, we're not taking you. They might go back and reoffend, and I've been in that position. I've obviously never been to prison, where they're like, oh, because as you know, Nelsie had the government job, right? And they're like, oh, your dad did XYZ, and I'm thinking, what's that got to do with me? How am I responsible for my father's actions, sort of thing, And then I left there feeling like, okay, is this what you want me to do? But then some other people just go out and do it out of anger and rage. And ultimately, to answer your question succinctly, yeah, I think they should be able to get the job, depending on what they did. If you've got a doctor that was moving wild and doing things to the patients, misprescribing pills, or there was that doctor recently that was doing things with women. I think he was was a plastic surgeon or something. He was doing something really heinous. No, never again. Not any job though. You just can't be a doctor again. So that's what I would say.
Same question to Shayla. If the person, say, for example, done GBH, yes? Now, do you think that should prevent them from getting any job?
No, it depends on what job they're going for. But I think you'd have to. I think the problem is that people see these things on people's records and don't actually go into what the situation was. I think that should always be done. They shouldn't just be put on their record and say this person got GBH. I think it should be put what they did and then have a conversation with that person, because their life might have been turned around. They might have been in a certain position in that time in their life. And you never know what it could have been. They might have needed some counselling. It could have been childhood trauma. It could have been everything. I don't think that should ruin their prospects later on in life. We should always encourage people to do better and try and be better and have better for themselves. So I don't think they should be judged according to especially GBH. To be honest,
Lily, do you think the system gives us a second chance?
I would say, yeah, I do. I believe the system does give people a second chance.
I would agree.
I do.
You say that. Let's look at it from a
wild scenario loading.
No, not wild. So let's look at it from a finance point of view. Yes. So I'm not sure how much of you know about bankruptcies.
Yeah, I worked in a bank and I know bits and bobs. You told me a few things, Nosy.
Okay, those who don't know, if you declared bankrupt, there are certain jobs which you are not allowed to have. And even if you are a accountant and you are declared bankrupt, your company may even dismiss you. Once you're bankrupt, it has a lot of consequences on your finances. But even something as simple as getting a bank account. Yes, you got very to zero chances of getting any credit because you know the whole system is run off credit. Yeah,
Does
so
it stay for long on your credit file?
yes, 6 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
6 years.
even from a financial standpoint, you all agree that the system does give you a second chance, but we can see that there are clear instances where the system effectively doesn't give you a second chance. So even on your job interview, they will ask you, have you got any convictions? And
Is
a
that
lot
a
of
conviction?
employers would say, once they see that box ticked,
No.
that's it, you're gone. Even if you apply for a mortgage, they ask you the same question, have you got any convictions? Yeah, and this is the mortgage. So though I agree that these things shouldn't impact you, but unfortunately it does go against you. And this is where I'm saying to you from a second chance point of view that so for example, I'm not sure how much you know about defaults. Yeah, so you know how when you're young, people are a bit financially reckless, where you'll go out and you spend on your credit card thinking, yeah, it's not, if I miss payments, it's not a big deal. But what you don't realize is those defaults are going against you. So if you try to apply for credit elsewhere or try to get a mortgage, one, you could be declined. Two, you might move on to like a prime mortgage, which is way more expensive. Yeah, or you might just get rejected altogether because of the amount of defaults you've got. Depending on what mistake you've made financially, it could actually ruin your whole life. There's lots of adverts which say that just write off your debts and just declare bankrupt, but not knowing what that entails.
I mean, yeah.
You see, my question is, do you think that is fair, Lily?
Is it fair? Like, if, okay, for instance, with the money thing, yeah, because if you're not really responsible, basically how I see it is, if you're not responsible with money and then you've had bankruptcy, you've had like loads of defaults, someone could potentially sell a house to you, and then what could happen is that you might lose that house because you can't keep up with mortgage payments. They could possibly write a review and say, oh, these people sold me a house, I've lost my house, not giving the background story, but I've lost my house, don't do anything with them anymore. And it could create a negative impact on the actual the business. But that's one way I'm looking at it, but I don't have another way to look at it. It just shows, like, if you're irresponsible, people want responsible people to work for them. Those are the only two ways that I see. I can't really think of anything else at this point.
Okay, Shayla, same question to you then.
I think that is all messed up. It doesn't make any sense because you can't. I get a lot of what you're saying, Ali, but I'm gonna take out the word that you said, responsible. I think that it's a mess. You cannot go and give young teenagers or young people credit and tell them to be responsible with it, and then judge them for it when they get to the age of 25 and be like, "Well, you've got defaults." Well, mate, why are you giving? They can't do certain things until they're 18, but then you're gonna let them have credit cards. You're gonna let them do all these credit. It doesn't make any sense. I feel like there should be maybe just don't give people of that age credit, or maybe renew it when they get to a certain age and say to them, okay, now you're at a certain age to understand finance. Now you can be able to do it, because there's not enough teaching in schools about financial finance and about credit and everything like that. You can't be giving them an online shopping account, store account. You're giving them for all these things and they're irresponsible. That's the key word, they're irresponsible, and you're giving them credit. And I feel like, and then they want to come and penalize you for it. And then say that, oh, you can't get a mortgage, you can't get this for what you did when you was 18, 17. Come on, realistically, make it make sense. And I don't think it's right. Like, I don't think it's right that the system It's created like that because how are you're not even teaching them how to be. Think about it. You're telling me to go to school, telling me to learn, but you're not teaching me any of these things so I can grow older and understand it. And then you're giving me a credit card, and then you're giving me all these things, and then you're going to penalize me for it when I don't even understand it, but you're giving it to me. It doesn't make any sense. That's why the world is functioning of debt, and that's what they want you to get into because it does it. It's like you're going to keep digging yourself into a deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper hole because you don't understand what you're doing, and that's the problem. So I don't think, to your question, the system, it says it preaches second chances and all this, but really and truly, are they really for us or against us? They're not.
It's based on circumstance, isn't it?
The same question to Natural Love Song. Firstly, do you agree with Shayla's points?
Yeah, I agree with most of what Shayla just said. Yeah. And I think what it comes down to is when I was making my previous points, he said, "Have you seen our MPs?" I mean, this is it. Like, consequences exist, but not for the ruling classes, not for the lawmakers, not for the bankers. Not for the people who profit off of all the little people not knowing the rules or being reckless because it's the first time they've had access to any kind of capital that's worth talking about, to them. Like, some people, you give them £100, it's like, wow, like that, I've never seen that much money in my life, So can you really judge that person if they get a 10, £5,000 or whatever credit card, if they go out and, kind of go crazy? But I do think that consequences should exist for everyone. Like, there's no reason why, going back to last week, Matt Hancock is out there telling everybody to stay home and stay away from me, but stay away from your granny, don't touch your mum too tough. Meanwhile, he, and then there's no consequences.
Not someone else
for everyone. The natural consequences of, look, this man was a paedophile and said he's reformed now and he's going to come live side of me, and then my whoever comes along and murders happen. Consequences.
But you see the consequences do you know the consequences that you're mentioning, Liz? I feel like there should be consequences to everyone, but I feel like those two circumstances are different from people that get in trouble for like credit and stuff. Because those things, those are
Let me backtrack. I am not saying that. That's why I qualified and said, like, you can't really blame someone who's never really had access to any amount of money that gets some money and then kind of goes a bit crazy. So it's why the systems are skewed to benefit those who
they know better. They don't know better. They've been taught better. We know better. You don't cheat. You're not supposed to cheat and do these things. But if you're doing it, then there's consequences to it. But then you can't penalize someone that you never taught, never given them understanding, and then be like, "What? This is what you have." I know someone, that's because she's well off, right, and her parents know the bankers, right, that she ran up her credit card bill, ran it up, couldn't afford to pay it. Her dad made one phone call. They wiped all the credit card bill off because he knew the bankers, because she had connections.
Nepotism
and was from a privileged. She's from a privileged background. But someone that's born in, I don't even know, some under a low privileged area doesn't really understand. But because your credit is 100, 800, and you haven't touched it yet, you're given a 5k loan. But yet you make the mistake of paying that loan. It's written off, and there's no one to save you. No, what they won't. The banks don't care about you no more. They're really happy with a smile on the face to hand you that loan. But as soon as you don't make that payment, you miss out. There's no one to save you, and that's it. I think it's just not fair.
So,
qualities.
whose responsibility is it to teach you about finances?
The people in power, your teachers. It's got to be your teachers. You're not going to go to know how to look for something if you don't know it exists. So Shayla made the perfect point, and so did Lydia. Like, when we was in secondary school, we taught the basics, maths, English, science, yada, yada, yada. I come out, got my own place, got hit with a council tax bill, got hit with 2 council tax bills in the same year. And I'm like, wait, what? And then you're trying to juggle finance, and I can do the math, but I'm getting into debt. And I'm like, what? And you're right. I know I went to college in Richmond upon Thames, right, Nelsy? A very middle class area. And I noticed that the white middle class people weren't having these problems. They were being taught by their parents and their teachers about running businesses and being business owners and how to juggle books and do accounting and how to manage credit and how to submit your tax reports at the end of the year. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, I felt so stupid. Like, but it was because I was just being taught, as you said, to be an employee, and I don't need to worry about those things. And they're being taught to run businesses and run the country. So why would I know to go out and think about something that's never been told to me by my parents because they were never taught? Like, so yeah, it's got to be, you got to be taught these things. Even going to uni. So you go to uni, which now costs you money. You come out think, yeah, I've got to pay back this loan, but it sits on your credit file. So you've got what, a 40 grand student loan, and then you want to try to get a mortgage, and you think the bank's going to say, well, you've got 40 grand if you've got a car on finance plus that, and you want to get a mortgage. No, you got to pay those stuff off first. And it's just like, how am I meant to do all these things? Like, it's unfair. But that's the way the system is, isn't it? But Lid's right. It only affects a certain class of people. Like what Shayla said about her friend who's well off. If you're well off, you can make these mistakes and it's never going to affect you. Look at Donald Trump's been bankrupt twice, yeah? Will Smith's been bankrupt. Like Jermaine Dupri's been bankrupt. Some of the richest people in the world have been bankrupt, bro. And they're still the richest people in the world, innit? Bankrupt twice, you know, not once, twice. And you still end up president.
It's slightly different from a business point of view. When you've got the right advice, tax consultants around you. Now, people understand the word bankruptcy from the point of view that they think that they are going to lose everything. But in certain countries, it's slightly different. You can declare bankrupt to sort of remove partial debt.
Yeah.
But you still keep your assets.
It's like 50 Cent.
Yeah, he did the same. Yeah.
He had money. He still got money though. He had all these assets, but got declared bankruptcy to act like he had no money. But he had all his assets after the bankruptcy, and then he still had money.
Where is the line drawn in regards to, how much the government should be teaching you compared to what your parents should be teaching you? At what point do you cross the line?
Why would your parents know these things? That's my point. Why would my mum, who grew up in the same social class status as me, know to teach me about finance? If my mum ran into financial hurdles, right, then yes, she's now aware, she's got a responsibility to teach me. But my mum, we grew up poor, but my mum wasn't in mad debt. She just never had money to begin with, innit? But my mum had money or got credit, got into debt. She then does have a responsibility to say, don't do these things, avoid these pitfalls, and blah, blah, blah. But so do your teachers. But if your parents, if your parents just came over to England, as a lot of our friends and loved ones have, they're in this new system, they send you to a British school, maybe English isn't your first language, they're not going to know to teach you about credit, Experian credit score of 900, make sure you don't default, get a CCJ. They'll be like, what's a CCJ? My friend's, I won't mention his name because he's not here, but if he was here, he would blatantly say, what are you talking about? Like, he's like from Mozambique. I know he would say, what are you guys talking about right now? Like, he's not aware of any of these things. Like, and that's just the way it is. They know these things though, Nelsy. Like, they know that if they teach a certain amount of people certain things, it's going to empower them. So let's not teach them anything. Let them get into debt. Let them be happy they got their flashy brand new car and like pretending like they got money, and then they get into debt and then we got them.
JD Sports when the lockdown was over to go and give them money.
Yeah, like, you know, when lockdown lifted, everyone ran to JD Sports. Come on, man, that's embarrassing.
There are young kids out there that are driving cars, because their credit is A1, and they don't realize what's happening. They don't realize what. Cause I when I was younger, I didn't understand what I was doing, but now I'm older and I'm seeing the young kids doing it. I'm thinking this is like a cycle. They literally let you ruin your credit in the beginning, completely ruin it, so you can be indebted to them and be in debt. And then it's like, what is going on? And like I said, I think it's the parents and the teachers, because we're going to school to learn about what? Science ain't gonna do nothing for me. Okay, you're gonna give me a whole hour lesson about science, English about the Tudors. What's that doing for me? Teach me something that's gonna help me grow now. But they won't do that because why? It's gonna elevate you too much. They teach you to be employers. keeping school from 8:30 in the morning to 3 o'clock. Start trying to keep me into this employment kind of system. What is that? They don't. But I think it shows you that they don't want you to elevate. They don't want you to be greater than you're supposed to be, because why? If there's too many people that have that same mindset, people are going to rise above it, and then they're going to start doing things that they don't want people to do. They need to keep the classes in their base.
You have to think about it. It's a system. Whenever you got a system, you need people at all levels of the system to help run the system, the class system still. Those who are sort of considered upper class, you know that straight away, they're the ones who they deem to be fit to run the country. And then you've got those who are either working class or below. Those who are there to help build the system. You see, they're not really going to empower you to, in order for you to get out of the system, because they need people to help run the system. You see, even the basics. So, as for example, I rent a property for £500. I rent a 2-bed property for £500. I pay council tax, electricity, water, rent, rates, the whole shebang. Yes, I pay for food every month, £400. Now, even those basic finance info, did your parent teach you that? Natural love song.
I would say yes and no. I kind of had to ask leading questions and show interest, and then I was shown and told more. And as I matured more, then I did my own research and started to understand more things, and then I asked even more questions. It's like, oh, okay, you're coming into adulthood. You really, okay, you want to know? Okay, here it is. But there's a lot of people who weren't exposed to a lot of stuff that really is necessitates you living a life that you can actually sustain.
Okay. I'm going to move on to the last point: relationships and second chances. So I will start with links. We all know that cheating is sort of subjective to a certain extent, because some people have got different levels of what they accept.
Yeah.
So for you, if you found out that your partner was cheating on you, yes, now it wasn't necessarily going all the way. She was having an emotional relationship behind your back for a period of time. Could you forgive her and move on?
No.
That was quick.
Yeah, I knew where it's going. Like, I know what I'm like. I've been like this since ever. Like,
no.
And if I stay, I'm vindictive. It's just to hurt you back. I'll be straight up. Like, if we stay together, it's just so I can put you through what you put me through, innit? So it's no. I'm like capital V vindictive, innit? Yeah, I'm capital V vindictive. Like, yeah, I'll tell any girl I'm with, like, if I will explain it till I'm blue in the face, and if you don't understand, then when I do it back, do not complain. Like, but whenever I do it back, oh, it's always worse when you did it because you did it deliberately. I'm not talking about cheating or anything, but I would apply the same rule to cheating.
Wait,
so if I forget.
But are you doing it back to her to, tell her, oh, like, that's why you shouldn't do it to me? Or are you doing it back to her to say, okay, like, you done that to me, I've done it to you, let's be together again? Or you both not?
No. So whenever it happens with me, I don't go out of my way to do the thing back, whatever it may be. But the situation will present itself. And then I'll be like, this happened do you get me? Like, and then and then she will bring it up like, I can't believe you did that. And I'm like, hold on, wait. But you did this. And then it will be, no, but when you did it, it's worse because you knew how. And I'm like, no. How you feel right now, I totally understand, innit? I totally understand, because however long ago, I was you having this conversation with, but you didn't want to hear it. You get me? Do you know how deep it gets here, Lily? This conversation came up with my last girl, and she has a conveniently forgetful memory in it. So I had to say to her, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on with the world. I said, I don't know if there's a higher power, but what I've learned in my age is it will show you from the other person's perspective. You just have to have your eyes open and recognize when it's happening, innit? So there's things I've said to girls when I was growing up, when I was feeling insecure, I was becoming a man, and then I moved on to another partner, and then that partner said things I said to my last girl, and I'd be like, whoa, I said that to my last girl. Now I know how to phrase this argument better to make her feel more secure, right?
Yeah.
And I said, and when that happens to you, I said, you need to remember this tree that we're sitting on now. Those two kids walking in the park. This here, because I don't want you to say you don't remember, innit? Because when it comes up and our roles are reversed, I need you to remember how I was understanding of you in it. What happens? She tried to say, I don't remember that. I'm like, nah, son. Remember the tree, and she remembered, innit? Yeah, but to get back to the point is no. No,
Okay.
like, no.
Okay, so same question to Lily. What do
No.
you forgive?
Well, I forgive, but like I won't forget. Like, you know, it will have to be ended there. To be honest,
Yeah.
it's
So-
just done.
He didn't, go all the way with her. They just kissed and had a
Nelsie, she said
emotional
no,
relationship.
man.
They
She's in my corner. She said no.
They didn't get. They didn't kiss, or they kissed.
So they kissed, didn't have sex, but they had a emotional relationship.
Nah, are you joking? I'm
Yeah.
I'm mad now. I'm mad now. No, that thing's done. Like, no.
Yeah.
Done.
Okay, same question to Natural Love Song.
Oh my gosh. Ugh. I've been there, innit? I've been there. It's hard. It's hard. And I have done forgiveness and it didn't work in my favor. So
Did they reoffend?
huh?
Did they do it again?
Been in a situation where it was never done again, and I've been in a situation where it was repeated. Yeah.
Okay.
So it didn't work in my favor, me trying to be,
You didn't answer my question.
What was the question now? Would I? Okay, would I now? Knowing what I know now.
That's like a maybe.
That's a maybe. That's a maybe. Yeah.
I always take it as if it's maybe. If she doesn't know the answer, then it's just no. I just feel like that it's never. If it was a yes, then it would be yes. If it's like you're not sure, then it's just a no.
That's a maybe. Even in a
You
whole
could see
persona.
It depends on the circumstances, though, doesn't it?
So,
It depends on the circumstances.
I'm not gonna lie and say I'm just gonna cut them off because it's not true. It's not true. I would have to do some deep soul searching and really see where's your heart at? Like, was this it's messy. I can't say yes or no. I can't.
Okay.
I won't be wrong.
I will be that angry black woman. I will.
You will be
If you say,
you'll also be the person that's still got the love there. So you're gonna have the love and the angry and the love and the angry.
if I stay in that mess, I will be that person, right? I don't mind not being in that mess and just being like, oh yeah, I remember when so and so like cheated. Oh, but that's done with now. I'll even be like, hi, how are you? Like, how's your new girlfriend or whatever? But like, if I was to stay, no, I'm gonna be thinking about it. You know, when you wake up in the morning at 3 a.m., I'm gonna be like, is he cheating? Like, no.
So same question to Shayla. Would you
Am I
forgive?
staying? Am I forgiving then? Or am I staying?
So if you forgive, then I would assume you're staying.
She's where the money resides.
See, listen, do you know what you're saying that? My mind was even there, but now you brought it to my attention.
Oh.
So I wouldn't. Could I forgive? Okay. Could I forgive? I'm not forgive. I would forgive, but I'm not staying. I wouldn't stay unless if I was married. So I don't want to talk about finances. If you had money abundantly, you can't be a thousandaire. You need to be a millionaire. If you was money was up there, to be honest. No. I'm not.
Oh dear, you're one of them.
I wouldn't. No. It depends, because I've always said if you haven't got much, and you're there cheating on me, it doesn't even make sense. Why would I stay? There's nothing keeping me there. But if you was a millionaire, yeah, and you was cheating on me, then I could I could
You could
say the
ignore
money
it.
is sweet.
Yeah, exactly.
I could ignore it.
Yeah,
But
Oh my god.
money, do you know what
every person comes to a breaking point. So I would stay, collect my coins, you know, build my, because there's no point me leaving, going to Crown of Bus when I could be in a mansion. So I'm gonna collect my coins, smile, collect my insurances, you know, have my kids for them, pay them the insurance, and then I'll leave.
Wow, she said have my kids for them.
But I'm
Colton,
not gonna leave empty-handed.
Yeah.
Thinks, what do you feel about that? Being a male?
Oh man, to be honest, I didn't expect that to be your response. Yeah, Shayla, I didn't expect that to be your response. Where do I start? Like, so if he had no money, and by no money I mean if he just was an average job, fireman, policeman, whatever, he cheats, you're bouncing, yeah, you're gone, no second thought. But if he's like Jeff Bezos, the richest man on the planet, you're saying,
Listen, I'm not gonna lie.
Give her a seatbelt.
where's your self-worth? So you put a financial stamp on how much your self-esteem is worth. And if you have daughters, they're going to see that. It's okay to treat you a certain way, providing they have a certain bank balance. That's dangerous.
Let me tell you something, yeah? If the prenup says you have to stay 5 years and you get your money, I'm staying 5 years. Self-esteem, pride, all of that. Self-esteem, pride, it don't pay bills. In the life that we're living, you have to pay bills. I'm not leaving a mansion, a billionaire, to go and sit in my little shack-a-rack. And I'd be like, yeah, my self-esteem is with me, keeping me company. I left, and I'm happy. No.
Okay, but at the end of it all, right? At the end of it all, when we've aged, we've lived our life, don't you believe that will eat at you? Like, that you compromise your own self-worth because that person had money? It might not. It might not.
From what I've seen, when it comes to older generation, like the older people, yeah. There were certain things that they did when they were younger. They would have been like, you know, forget men, forget all of that.
Yeah.
Get what you can get and be happy. I'm getting what I can get. I'm not going to be happy sitting down knowing that I've left someone that's supported. His life's going to go on with or without me. So I might as well do what I need to do while I'm in that situation, stack up, get what I need to get, and then I'll leave. Why am I going? It's like Cassie and Diddy, yeah? I'm sorry. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving someone that's a near billionaire for some. The man that she's with now is a personal trainer. Listen, good for her, but she must have her own. She must have her own. But I
think the problem is. Yeah, go on.
I'm saying she must be happy at the end of the day with a personal trainer, isn't it?
Because obviously she's realised that she gave 10 years. No, because she's given her 10 years. I'm telling you, I don't think Cassie left empty-handed. I don't care anyone telling me. Her singing career was not great. Is someone that has got multi-millions, right? I don't believe she left empty-handed. And plus, she's given him 10 years, so she's got it to leave. If I'm only giving you, 2 years, you think I'm coming out? I don't know if you know the Real House of Atlanta, Portia, when she took the girl's man, right? Let me tell you something. If I was the girl that she took the man, I'm not leaving. She was only with him for a year and a half. I'm not leaving that house. Okay? I'm not leaving. He's a 40-millionaire and I'm going to leave because this new girl wants to try to put my house. I'm not leaving. I'll be cooking in that kitchen when it's time for me to, when they said, I'll be doing you. I'll be in the bath, taking a bath when the new one. We can
man.
Together.
See, the problem is, once you establish that you're not leaving until you get a certain amount, you're never going to leave. You're never going to leave.
No, not a certain amount. I'm not leaving until I get what I should. I'm sorry.
You are never going to, because if I was a billionaire and you and I were married, and you're like, I'm not leaving for 5 years until I get my money. In 5 years, you're going to forget. I'm going to tell you all the gifts in the world. Yeah, but we've had a discussion. We know that.
It depends on your love language.
And here's a check. Would you
just they say what?
I said
they say what? Sorry,
the money. Like if you were saying, well, I'm not going nowhere until da 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 da, and then they just said, okay, fine.
I told them that though.
Here's the check. Take it. Go now. Are you just gonna take the check and go?
It goes two ways, but I don't think I would do that because it's not. I would have to do it. I don't want them to know what I'm staying for. Cause I would never tell them I'm not leaving until I get my money. I'm not a
They
gold
know
digger.
what you're staying for.
But
They know what
I'm
you're staying
staying.
In it. In the 5 years,
It's
the
4.5 years come.
It's the
for. These
lifestyle.
1% of men that are the world's richest ain't stupid. They know
Yeah.
that if
Exactly.
you found out
It's
they're
the
cheating and you didn't leave, they know from that moment on that you
Why
ain't gonna
there?
leave.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why
it's
in the
gonna
first
be.
place?
That's why I respect Jeff
I'd
Bezos'
rather-
wife, right? Because he cheated, and she instantly became the world's richest woman when he cheated on her, right? And she left, and she's now married to a teacher. And I'm just like,
Yes,
I
and
rate
why? Why? Do you get that? Do you get that though? She married a teacher after, not before. After.
Yeah.
She secured the bag first, and then she did. Then she claimed happiness, just like Cassie. Secured the bag first, then she should claim happiness. You don't not the other
No,
way around.
but what about those men that are like self-built? What about those men that are like self-built and you're with them from when you're young and then like, you know, they're now billionaires or whatever? Like, it's based on love. Come on, if my like it is based on love. If they're young, I know when they're young, they started something up when
Nah.
they're young, right? And they've stayed like through. They've seen
Nah.
everything, the bad, the good, whatever.
No.
And then now
No.
they've made it from millionaire to billionaire, and then the person cheats. They're not gonna like. They're gonna think. They're gonna be like, "Wow, I stuck through everything, and you want to cheat on me just because now you're a billionaire?" Like, then leave. It depends on the woman. It all depends on the woman, I think.
Okay, so a question. What's to say, Sheila? So a question. So this is to natural love song. Would you rather have a child with a broke person or with someone who is rich?
Oh, come on.
So now you understand what I'm
So
saying.
Sheila, one second, sorry, Sheila.
Come on to my side.
If I'm having a child with you, clearly I'm already attracted to you. Clearly there's enough there to make me want to procreate with you. So we're not talking about someone that's broke and there's nothing else about them. So if you're rich and there's something about you that makes me draw to you to want to let you knock me up, then come, let's do it with the money.
It's the money.
The reason why I asked that question is you've got lots of females nowadays which are willing to sleep with any old, person, regardless of their status, yes. And then you've got Nick Cannon, who is
he's got like 7 baby mums at the same time, right?
Going around and just breeding. Yes, he's completely honest with them all. Yes, and they know, and they are happy with that arrangement. Yes. So what my point is, so you've got normal females who just go around just having children with any old person, and some of them are broke, some of them got nothing, and they do it anyway. But then you've got other females who are more strategic, and they will only go for someone who's rich, and they don't care whether or not they're with them or not. They just want to have a child for someone who's rich because then they can take care of them. So which scenario would you rather choose? That's who naturally Russell.
It's to me again. Well, I just said if there's something about you already that I would be attracted to enough to make me want to procreate with you, and you're just giving me an option, of course I'm going to choose the more wealthier person. But that doesn't mean that I'm discounting all people who aren't wealthy. But if you're giving me just a choice, he's good looking and he's got good looking and some money. I'm not
The Nick Cannon thing. The
Yes.
Nick Cannon thing. I don't personally see. Even though I'm here for the money, but that I'm not here for that.
Period.
Because that
Why not?
for me,
He's got money.
So I'll tell you why. Because it's like Future and Nick Cannon in the same boat. They do these things with women.
Yep, they do.
My thing is, how much money do you have to go through all of your kids? It's not enough for me. I'm not sharing them with 7 pitney. I'm sorry. I need to be with because if you see how much they're worth, after when the kids get later on down the line, you're not gonna have a lot of money. You're gonna keep having kids with so many women. You're trying to bankrupt yourself, and that's not smart to me. I don't want a stupid man that's got money. I want an intelligent man that knows that I'm not looking for a man that's just spreading his seeds. If I'm going to date a wealthy man, I'm not just doing it because he's got money. I'm doing it because of his mindset, I'm looking at what he's got, how he built his businesses. I want the whole package. I don't want a silly man that has come to fame and thinks spreading his seeds and have all these different women because he's got money. He wants to have, these I don't like, no. I'm not being one of your 7 baby mums. That's still a baby mum. Just because you're rich, don't make you not a baby mum. You're a baby mum for a man that's got 7 something kids. And to be honest, that's the same equivalent to me to being broke. Because at the end of the day, the money will run dry. He's going to be selective on who's giving more money to. And these women, because if the man can twist up your man so much to have a kid with him after he's got so many kids already, that they're not putting him on no child support. And later on in life that they're going to come out in the news, oh, he hasn't paid child support in how many? Well, what did you expect?
Well,
it's not smart.
So when I answered my question, I wasn't like saying I want to be number 9 in the line. Okay.
We know.
Right. And they always have the favoritism ones as well, like Future. He's got his favorite kids. Future's got how many kids? And he doesn't like some of the baby mums. He doesn't treat the kids the same. He doesn't give them the same thing. And he said, even when the woman said she wants 50,000, the last one said she wants something like 50,000 or 30,000 alimony or whatever for the kids. And he said no, he hasn't got no money. All he's got is 2,000 a month spare to give the woman. That's why you don't have kids with men that do things like that.
Yeah, but
Jeff
Future,
Bezos and
Future
him are on the same
isn't,
of the guy.
Future isn't Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon's on a different level.
Yeah, but Future's got.
It's
true.
Nick Cannon is on a different level. And
but come on, Jeff Bezos or Nick Cannon. I'm not having a baby with Nick Cannon when you've got all these babies. No, man. What is that? Got a turban on your head.
See with that, like we're not making a commitment to live a monogamous life. Some people are all about the polyamorous, and you have all the sister wives and whatever. Some people are all down for it. It's not me, but if that's how you want to live your life and you're cool with it,
I need to be the wife. The wife.
Yeah, but you are the wife. Like, I mean,
I'm sure, cheating,
but I'm sure, like, Maya Carey never knew this was gonna happen in Nick Cannon's personal life.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But the thing is, the difference is Maya Carey's got money. She doesn't have a problem with that.
I think from what I've read, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think because she was more spiritual and he wasn't like that way. That's why he said like he'd always be doing spiritual stuff and like he's not a spiritual person.
So this is the last question in regards to second chances to links. If you found out that you was interested in a female, yes, and you were serious about her, but then she didn't tell you that she used to date one of your close friends. Now, would you still pursue her, or would you say, no, I'm good?
No, I'm good, bro.
Why is that? Even though emotionally you want to be with her.
Yeah, because I don't like. Let's say it's you there, Nelsie. I don't want you coming around at Christmas and my girl's looking at you, and then I'm looking at you like. And I'm thinking, what's going on? And then she cracks a joke, or you crack a joke, and you both start laughing, and I'm looking at her like,
it's a movie.
Yeah, like, oh, and then I start making them snidey comments in it, and I look like a madman. Like, oh, you just be laughing at all these jokes, huh? He's just so funny, huh? Like, Nelsie's just so handsome, huh? She didn't even say anything in it, but I'm just jumping down her throat at everything. She'd be like, Lynch, you want some? Why don't you ask Nelson? Yeah, well, that's how I'd get. Allow it. No, if my girl was dating one of my brethren or was close to one of my brethren, bro, historically, I date girls who don't know any of my friends or the same circles, for that reason. Because I'm nah, bro. Nah.
No,
What, he just turns up one day, or I come to hers and he's sitting here. How do you mean? What's he doing here? What? Nah, bro. You're getting me mad already. I'm upset. I'm upset. I'm actually upset thinking about it. Nah. I'm actually upset thinking about it. Let me get my tissues out of cover, man.
And same question to Lily. How would you feel? Would you still want to pursue it? Or would you say, yeah, no, I'm good?
No, I'm good.
Even though
really knows.
Yeah, that hurt my feelings. Like, what?
That was in the past.
So you didn't decide to tell me like straight away, like as soon as you saw the person, and you're just like, oh yeah, hi, yeah, and then the next event, oh yeah, hi, yeah, and I'm thinking, wait, I can feel something between you two, whether it's past, present, whatever. There's something there, and I don't like it, and you just decided not to tell me. And then when I'm asking questions, so you know, you seem a bit like you get along more with Hannah. Like, what do you know Hannah? And then you say, oh yeah, I just met her, blah, blah, blah. And then and I keep on picking and digging, and then you eventually tell me that you used to date. I'm not gonna be with you because you're not trustworthy. And also, like, do you think I'm stupid to have me here as your new girl and to have your old girl there? Do you think you're winning? No, I will dump you straight away. You've lost.
Okay, I can see she's you know.
I rate that response.
Same question to Shayla.
Am I gonna be with them? Am I gonna?
You're
what?
gonna say if you got
Sorry?
money in it. You're gonna say if you got money in it.
She's got money.
I know what you're gonna say, Shayla. Well, if you got money, I'ma stay.
Listen, will I just say something here? Disclaimer: if you
I
don't
know what you're
mention
gonna
money,
say.
I won't
Well,
think
if you got
about
money,
it.
I'ma stay.
I'll answer the question in a normal state of mind. If you do not mention money,
No. Did he ever give you his card? Did he ever give you?
no, I wouldn't even
Stop
say
being
that.
friends with her.
I wouldn't even
Stop
say
asking
that.
everything. What did he give you for Valentine's Day?
I wouldn't even say that. I think the age. It depends on the age that you are.
So I'm
Depends on
asking
the
right
age.
now, at your age, would you be with that person knowing that that person was with your friend in the past, but he's got money?
If I'm friends.
It's a yes. You see, it's a yes.
Yes, I
Ask
have
natural love.
five
Ask natural love song.
5 friends, and to be honest, my friends would want me to win.
This girl's rubbish. This girl's rubbish. As long as the man's got money, yeah, she's gonna let him do whatever, innit?
Yeah.
She could walk into the bedroom and he'd be in bed with her brethren. She'd be like, oh, sorry, wrong door. Like, she'd just shout the door.
If I see
She'd go sit, watch The Walking Dead and be like, as long as I'm getting my money. As her brethren walk through the front room with nothing but a towel on. As long as I'm getting my money, girl. Innit? She's one of them. As long as I'm getting my money, girl, you the fool because I'm getting his money.
He's taught her a car.
Man, Shayla, you're different. Listen, you are part of the problem with the world today. You know why men think they could just treat women anyhow because they think they got money. Stop it. We're gonna have a serious conversation, Shayla. You're worth more than that.
Go on, links. Pull out the Bible.
You're worth more than that.
Preach, brother.
About you gotta get money. Stop it.
I'm gonna get money for me and my friend. I'm gonna get money.
All right. So what if you're within the 5 years? Yeah, he's a billionaire, and then on the 5th year he ends up broke.
He's bouncing.
We'll see. Then we'll see if it was ready up. No. Then we'll see if it was ready.
Then you're killing it, innit?
Then we'll see.
What do you mean? He'll see if it's was love, not you. You're not the love.
No, I'm not. Nah, listen. I don't know, man. It's hard.
Okay.
It's hard.
Same question to natural love song. Sure.
I'm not a gold digger.
You're not good at your you sound
I'm so done.
I'm
So
not. Same question. Is it the same? Make it exactly the same question. With money
So-
too.
The question
was
was,
interested in a guy who used to date one of your friends. Yes,
The close friend.
but this guy has got money, and
Low.
emotionally, you're already involved. Would you continue to pursue him, or would you leave it alone? Once he told you that he used to date your friend.
just too
Don't
close.
block everything.
It's just too close for comfort. I'm just, yeah. I don't like mess. I don't like mess, man. It's too close
Don't
for
block no
comfort.
blessing.
I don't even hear it.
Bless me another way. Oh no, sir.
What about
Okay.
you, Elsie?
Happens in
You
church.
find out?
Happens in church all the time. Happens in church all the time. There's people that have been married to people that got, like, broken. Happens.
Might be.
Boy,
That ain't happening with me.
Going to
You
that.
married the wrong person. You
I
married the
wish
wrong person.
somewhere else. Sorry.
How about Nelsie? You find out, yeah. Your wife right now was with like me for 10 years. Didn't tell
Too
you.
late now.
It's too late for who?
Yeah, see? You see, this one knows he's been my boy from day.
Are you mad?
He's been with his wife
No.
20 odd years. You think he cares? It's lock off, it's done.
Exactly. You mad?
What is this?
No. I'm saying.
Wait, and you find out after
listen,
20 years?
I don't care. I don't care. It
Years
could
of
be 50 years.
deception.
It could be 100 years. I don't
I'm
care.
confused, yeah.
I'm
How
done.
close are these friends? No, how close are these friends? How close?
Listen,
Wait, what?
I'm done. I'm done.
I'm the same.
I'm a old school man. I'm an old school brother. Yeah. I'm sorry.
You
No.
didn't even
I'm sorry.
cheat. That
I'm
was
saying,
before.
I'm done.
That was her past life.
No,
but
hold on.
She didn't tell him.
But you were right.
Yeah, but you're together now for 20 years.
Your
Like,
past can affect your future. Yes.
Yep.
So this
Yeah,
is where you need to be honest with the new person, so they can make a clear decision based on the truth. When you start hiding things, this is where the problem starts, Yeah.
I agree.
and it starts on the wrong foot. You see, and then you start questioning everything. So I would rather someone be honest to me and tell me straight to my face that, you know what, I used to date your friend, and then
in the beginning.
whether or not I choose to move forward with you, that's my prerogative. But at least you've given me that choice for me to make that choice.
And
Yeah.
that's exactly why when people decide to leave, it's not even, sometimes for people, it's not even the fact of the cheating anymore. It's the disrespect of not allowing me to make an informed decision.
Yeah.
It can be you're cheating and you're also doing various other things. Like I know of someone who was cheating on their partner and it wasn't the first time. They're married, but that wasn't the thing that broke the camel's back. Like they were willing to forgive the cheating part. It was other parts in the relationship that were their deal breakers. Everybody is different. Everyone is different. But if you know that the person has been repeatedly doing something and you've extended yourself so far to say, I know that you've done this and I'm still willing to work with you, and then you disrespect on top of that. Oh, fire blazes.
But I think I'm just too old school, man. And
Me too. I changed my mind.
no,
Staying
you're
in my
done.
friend's mouth.
You're done.
No, I wouldn't do
You're done.
it. No, because you keep mentioning money, but I wouldn't do it. No, I wouldn't. I draw the line. I'll probably finesse you, but I'm not gonna actually be with
This
you.
part's being cut out.
Please don't air this. This is gonna ruin my reputation. I
And
will
on that
not.
note,
So nice. Up the Sona for the podcast. You're the money babe. The money babe.
Exactly.
exactly.
I would finesse him, but I would not be with him.
Well, after this, all men are going to have your number in it. So they're going to pretend like they got money in the bag to get you to stay. And then you're going to stick around and stay. I'm wondering why they're still driving that same old Fiat Fiesta from 1996. And they
I
say
wouldn't
this
date
because
someone
they're just
that's
trying to
a
save.
PSS.
And then when you see the bank account, when you see the bank account says minus £90, and they've been transferring money every month, you'll be like, wait, where's? Look at Lily shaking her head. Like, you're gonna be like, wait, why did I stay these extra 5 years?
Lee knows the true me, don't you?
Not even that. Like, imagine the hidden kids.
Yeah.
Men can hide kids, you know.
Well,
Men can have kids
I draw the
well.
line at hidden kids. I draw the line at that. That's disrespectful.
There's a lot of.
on that note, thank you all for joining. Natural Love Song, do you want to give out your socials?
Yeah, I'm at Natural Love Song on Instagram. I'm at Natural Love Song on YouTube. Yeah, that's about it, really.
Shayla?
Because of what I've said, I decided not to do that. I'm joking.
It's okay.
I'm joking. I'm kidding. It's her.style on Instagram. Do not judge me for what I said today. Thanks.
And the same for Lily.
Yeah, cwlee.cooked for my cooking, and Lee Markella, like LeeMarkella for Instagram.
Okay, and last but not least, links.
Yeah, it's just iamlinks.com for the website. That's link spelled LINKS. XX, and it's just the links effect for the Instagram, spelt the same way, THELINXX effect. That's it, really.
Great. Thank you all for joining, and hopefully I'll see you on episode 4. Good
Yep.
night.
Later.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.